Welcome everybody back with another podcast, emergency podcast. Breaking news: another trade, NBA trade as a trade deadline approaches on this Thursday night. This Thursday, February 6th, the NBA trade deadline. Another star. More super. If you consider DeAndre Fox, De'Aaron Fox, not DeAndre, sorry, the Aaron Fox. Can't pronounce his name. De'Aaron Fox, a superstar. I consider him a star, not a superstar, but he was a franchise player for Kings for the last about how long has he been with the Kings? He was the King for quite some time. He's 27 years old, so he's been with the Kings. He was with the Kings for let's see. Uh, When did the Kings play last? The Kings played yesterday, and he played his last game yesterday as a King. Yes, he did play yesterday. He had 20 points, 8 for 16. So, yeah, so he actually played yesterday, and then he gets traded today. So, he's played with the Spurs since 2017. So he's been the franchise player for about 20 since 2017. He was first round pick from Kentucky. I don't consider him a superstar because there's very few superstars in the NBA. But he's a star player. He was a franchise player. He gets traded. Another franchise player gets traded in the West. The Aaron Fox gets traded to the San Antonio Spurs. So him and Wemley. I can't pronounce his name. Wamba. Get to play with each other. He wanted to go to the Spurs and play with him. So he gets his Spurs get their point guard. I don't know what the Spurs are gonna do as far as Chris Paul because Chris Paul is a point guard. So is Chris Paul gonna go to the bench? Is I mean um I know um I know Chris I know there's no positions in basketball anymore, so maybe he'll play in the backcourt with Chris Paul and just be the off guard. But yeah, let's see the details. So he gets traded to the Spurs. This is a 3-team deal. Unlike last night, it was two. No, last night was 3-team deal too. You thought Jazz were involved. So the deal moves the Bulls guard Zach LaVine to the Kings. He reunites with DeMar DeRozan. Him and DeMar Zach LaVine and DeMar reunite after playing with each other for the last couple of years in Chicago, including last year. And then not LaVine, DeMar left by free agency this offseason. Last summer he left. And he signed with Sacramento, and Zach LaVine is having a career year in Chicago, and now he gets traded to the Kings right before the deadline, 5 days before the deadline. As the deadline approaches, so the Kings also receiving 3 first-round picks: 2025 from the Hornets, 2027 from the Spurs, 2031 from the T-Wolves. So now we're going into the 30s with the picks. 3 second rounders: 2025 from the Bulls, 2028 from the Nuggets, and 2028 they get their 2028 back. And the Spurs guard Cisco, whatever. That wow, the Kings got a lot. They got 3 first round picks and 3 second round picks. Wow. That's a lot. I mean, the Aaron Fox is good, but wow, that's a lot. Chicago gets its own 2025 pick by Spurs, along with San Antonio's Zach Collins and Tim Jones, and the Kings' Kevin Herter. In addition to Fox, San Antonio receives Sacramento guard Jordan McLaughlin. Fox has one more year on his deal after this season and has not shown a willingness to sign a contract extension with the Kings. So he has 1 year deal. He's going to be a free agent this off season. I would hope San Antonio resigns him after giving up the picks they gave up. I think it's all. I'm assuming it's from the Spurs. I'm assuming that they're all from the Spurs. The first rounders are from the Spurs, and then the Bulls obviously got in there. So, yeah, this is just as big as last night's trade. So two trades less than 24 hours. Let's keep them rolling. There's still some names out there that's going to be probably traded. Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Crybaby Butler. Yeah, I call him Crybaby now because this is going to be his third team he cries his way out of. Yeah, I lost all respect for Jimmy Butler, but he's not the same player as 2019. He cried his way out of Chicago. He cried his way out of Minnesota. Now he's crying his way out of Miami. I mean, he's not the same player as 2019, so I don't know why the Sixers would be interested in him. I know Paul George has not been great, but I think I would rather have Paul George at this point than Jimmy Butler, but neither are going to help this team in the future anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Both are useless, in my opinion. It doesn't matter who they have because Embiid is not on the floor anyway. So it doesn't matter if they have Jimmy Butler. It doesn't matter that Paul George. If they swap Paul George for Jimmy Butler, get underneath that horrific Paul George contract, then so be it. But if they can find a way to trade Paul George without getting Jimmy Butler, I'll be happy. Because that contract is horrific. Trade him back to the Clippers if you want. Never wanted Paul George. I think he sucks now. All he cares about is his podcast. He's injured. He hasn't done much for the Sixers. He's played some defense. I'll give him that. But yeah. Massive trade. Let's see what Brian Whitmer. I can't pronounce these names. Such an idiot. I'm bad at pronouncing names, so bear with me.
And Doug.
You'll be back. Emus can't help people customize and save hundreds on car insurance with Liberty Mutual. You're just a flightless bird.
No, he's a dreamer. Frank.
And Doug.
Well, I'll be. That bird really did it.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
We have more breaking news here in the NBA. Our Shams Charania reporting that Sacramento is finalizing a trade that sends De'Aaron Fox to San Antonio. It's a multi-team trade that also moves the Chicago Bulls' Zach LaVine to the Kings. Brian Windhorst, contextualize this for us.
Victor Wembanyama has a running mate now with De'Aaron Fox. Yep. What De'Aaron Fox wanted. The Kings are going to get Zach LaVine who's a replacement playmaker, and a couple of first-round picks here. The Bulls are going to offload some salary and start sort of a more tank process to keep their draft pick.
And Victor Wembanyama is a destination. The build has begun to build around his prime. He just got a running mate that gives you 25 points per game, 6 and 5 at the age of 27 years old. And most importantly, De'Aaron Fox has experience playing with another great big, formerly now playing with Domantas Sabonis. Now he is passing to Victor Wembanyama.
It appears that it was important to the Spurs here to keep Stephon Castle in a San Antonio uniform. Why was that so important amongst all of this?
They're a big believer that Castle can be a future star. They absolutely did not want to put Castle in these talks. They were able to get this deal done without putting Castle in it. And I think also the key is Fox can extend this summer. And I don't think he goes to a place where he doesn't plan on extending. So they do this deal knowing they're going to keep him long term.
I don't know who's.
All right. All right.
I meant to share that. Let's see what's next. Okay. Yeah. Stop sharing right now. But, let's see. I just want to share this. Yep. Subscribe, like, and comment. Hit the bell. Yeah, leave a comment if. Let me know what you think of this trade. Whoever's in the chat, I don't know who's in the chat. Say hi. Oh, 9 people. Nice. Yeah. Go down now. Down to 7. Let's see. What else is there to share about this trade? I don't think it's official. It's still, they're still finalizing the deal. So, but yeah, let's take a look at. Let's take a look at the San Antonio Spurs now and their roster. What does this do for San Antonio? Do they make a playoff push now? Can they make a playoff push? Can the Spurs make a playoff push? They're 21-25. Let's take a look at their roster. Harrison Barnes. Yeah, so it's not official because DeAndre. Oh, never mind. Fox is on the roster already. So I guess it is official. It'll be interesting to see if who goes to the bench because they have Vessel, if I'm saying that right. He's their starting shooting guard. He's averaging 16 points a game. I believe he's their starting guard. And now you have the Aaron Fox coming. You have I guess Vessel goes to the bench, or do you move Chris Paul to the bench and have him come off the bench? Who do you have coming off the bench? I'm assuming Vessel will go to the bench, and then you have Fox and Chris Paul in the backcourt. Fox be your off guard scorer. I'm not surprised at this, but I didn't think San Antonio would actually pull the trigger. They don't usually pull triggers on a big trade like this. San Antonio is not known for like massive trades like this. But they got their man to pair with Vic with VW. So it'll be interesting to see if he signs an extension right away, because I'm assuming he's going to sign an extension. That's the reason why they trade for him, to pair with Victor. Not Victor, it's a Vic. Wama. I can't pronounce it. Yeah, Victor. I'll just call him Victor. To pair with Victor. V-Dub. I call him V-Dub. So it will be interesting to see what they do with him. Do they now? Let's talk about Zach LaVine going to the Bulls. Not the Bulls. Sacramento Kings. So Zach LaVine goes to the Sacramento Kings. Let's take a look at their roster. Because he reunites with DeMar DeRozan, and we'll take a look at the Bulls roster because the Bulls are interesting themselves. Remember to hit the like and subscribe, please. Thanks, guys, for watching. Appreciate it. Just hit the button. Am I going to San Antonio Spurs again? Who's going to be the next guy traded? Am I gonna come back tomorrow night and do this again, or am I going to come back later tonight? If there's another massive trade, I will be back. If it's just a small trade, I'll do a small video, probably a short on it, or I'll wait until like Tuesday to do an update on the trades. Then Thursday, when I get home from work, I'll do a recap with all the trades. Let's do Sacramento. Oh, nobody's watching now. So Zach LaVine is a shooting guard. He was a small forward. Now he moves back to shooting guard. Who's their point guard now? Who's gonna be their point guard? Is it gonna be Jordan McLaughlin? Gonna be the point guard? Wow. Yeah. And Sacramento is 24 and 24, so they're fourth in their division. And now the Chicago Bulls. What does this do for Chicago? Chicago's in full rebuild. I'm expecting they're gonna trade Nikolai Volkic within the next 72 hours. 72 to 86 hours. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So about 4 days. Yeah, so about 72 to 86 hours. No, 72 to 96 hours. So 96, about almost 96, less than 96 hours until the deadline, I think, if my math is correct. So I expect there's going to be more trades. Expect Jimmy Butler to get traded. I'll be back for that one. If he gets traded, maybe even Lonzo Ball gets traded. I'm expecting the Bulls to maybe offload some contracts here. You have maybe even Cody White gets traded. I expect Nikolai Jokic to get maybe traded. Maybe Lonzo Ball. Maybe somebody could use a backup point guard. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the Bulls do because they didn't really get any players back. They hardly got any players back. So this would be interesting. Not much to say other than I think the Kings didn't need Zach LaVine, but I don't know if he fits there because DeMar DeRozan's there with him again. I don't know why they would want Zach LaVine because isn't that the whole reason DeMar left? Is because he didn't want to play. I don't know if he wanted to play with Zach LaVine anymore. Because if he did, I would think he would have stayed, or he just went to the best place where he got. I don't know. Yeah. So Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan reunite in Sacramento, and who San Antonio gets their point guard of the future. I guess Chris Paul will. It'd be interesting to see if the Spurs make a playoff run. Do they make another trade here? I don't know what other trade they can make other than they don't need anything because now Vessel comes off the bench. You have a bench piece off the bench. You have a bench guy coming off the bench. They are 3 games back from Dallas, ironically, who made the other trade last night. And they're 10 games back from second place, Memphis. Let's see the full standings for these guys. Hit the like, hit this, leave a comment, and subscribe. Let's see. San Antonio is 2.5 games back from the team that they just traded for. They are 2.5 games back from 10th place, who the team they traded with. So I expect San Antonio to move up, Sacramento to move down. No, actually San Antonio could move up. Sacramento could move up. Wow, Minnesota's 7th? Wow. They're really having a disappointing season, aren't they? They might make a trade. So the 3 teams that made a trade in the last 24 hours or so, San Antonio Spurs, the Sacramento Kings, and Dallas Mavericks are 9, 10, and 12 in the standings. And then the Lakers, are in 5th. So Dallas, Sacramento, and San Antonio are all fighting for a play-in spot. And they made trades in the last 24 hours. So let's see. As I said, I was on mute. Sorry. Chicago Bulls are in 10th, and Sixers, who blew a 27-point lead to the Boston Celtics just half an hour ago. The game ended right before I went on air. They're one game back from the Bulls, so they could move into the 10th position. Ironically, that's how bad the East is. Wow. So the Bulls kind of helped the Sixers go make the playoffs, basically. There we go. Yeah. So I'll end the stream now. Thanks for watching, guys. Whoever watched, remember to leave a like and subscribe. Later. Who knows? I might be back later. One more breaking news. You never know. Just never know. Thank you, guys. Leave a like and subscribe.